Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the second day of games here in the GGvision Liquid Colosseum with me, Sebastian Sjoberg, and our Gladiator of the Week,
Liquid HerO!
Here spawning as the blue Protons in the 9 o'clock starting position of Shattered Temple. His opponent, hiding behind the nickname HerO is none other than Noblesse, as far as I can deduce from the information. And if so, he was the player who stopped Liquid HerO's career in the GSL Code A in July, so there will be a bit of bad blood and rivalry between these players. Liquid HerO, formerly OGS HerO, playing under that nickname in these games, is of course, well, an eager and new player on the scene. He is spoken about as a very accomplished Protoss player, and indeed he proved his skills in the last game against NEST. Very technical and aggressive warp-in strategy there, but we don't know too much about him because he has not been featured in too many tournaments. The GSL Code A in July was his most notable appearance yet, and that was Noblesse who put an end to that, so we will just have to see what comes out of this. Quick barracks here following the supply depot, all very standard and ordinary. Meanwhile, we see a gateway being placed here next to the gas rather than at the ramp. I always question this myself, but the pro gamers know better than me, I suppose. Here we see HerO scouting in the wrong way. And Liquid HerO, who was signed to Team Liquid on the 10th of August, adding new Protoss powers to the Liquid team after Huck's departure to Evil Geniuses. Well, we'll just have to see what he can do. This is recorded before MLG Rally, ladies and gentlemen, though you will be seeing these casts just after it, as soon as Liquid HerO has either won it or gone out in a blaze of glory. Now we see quick gas here following the barracks, so it seems like this might be a infantry timing push in the making. If we see an add-on or second barracks soon, I'll predict that's exactly what will be coming up, and here indeed it does. Second barracks following, so Marine Marauder timing push, I can sense it. Here we now see the workers meeting each other, high-fiving, and that should definitely tell Liquid HerO at the very least where his opponent is. Seems like he will be trying to scratch the paint job on this enemy SCV, and well, we'll just have to see whether he will place any more proxy shenanigans, warp-in pylons or anything like that, which he did with so much success against NEST in day one. Meanwhile, we see a reactor being placed on the first barrack, so indeed it looks like heavy infantry coming out of our Terran player Noblesse. Meanwhile, Stalker being chrono boosted out. He will need a quick Stalker here since he's got no defenses on his ramp, but he's been rally pointing it all the way to the enemy, so true to form he will be quite aggressive indeed, and only now is his scouting probe. He managed to make it past that first marine, becoming obliterated. Meanwhile, we see a proxy pylon being constructed here at the northern end of the 3 o'clock starting position, so it seems like Liquid HerO likes those shenanigans. But after MLG Rally, this will be released, and by then we will all know so much more about what HerO can do. This will be a pre-teaser for me, but a post-confirmation for you guys. I really look forward to hearing your comments, since you will be watching this with MLG Rally in mind. 2 more gateways now being added, and I have yet to see anything come out of this one. Meanwhile, we see concussive shells being upgraded, and just as I move the camera away, we do see a Twilight Council going down. But I also see an SCV approaching from the south. Ladies and gentlemen, it might seem like yes indeed, the trick from our Liquid player HerO is now revealed. He's cancelling the Twilight Council. Meanwhile, we see here the infantry push being well underway, concussive shells having finished, so this is quite a deadly force. Combat shields now following that upgrade, and Liquid HerO could be in a lot of hurt. Will he lose the Stalker even? No, it seems like he is retreating before we're getting hit by concussive shells. I see a Stargate also building right here, but this ramp is pretty much unprotected. Only got 2 sentries, 1 beautiful force wheel however, blocking it off, being able to snipe 2 marines and taking very little damage in return. But these are not many sentries, there are not many force fields around, and I must say that Liquid HerO is pretty much outmanned, though a Protoss player always have the prerogative to do these force field blocks, and that can truly turn the tide of battle, and indeed sniping 3 more enemy units, and it seems like Noblesse is retreating for the time being. So beautifully defended, though that was close, I must say. Meanwhile, we see more proxy warp in here, following, actually cancelling that one. Never mind, I guess. But it seems like the probe rather want to place the pylon so that it can reach here the north, providing that Liquid Hero gets vision, losing a Stalker to those Marines and Marauders with concussive shells. And now we see a Void Ray being more than halfway done. No, not being chrono boosted, but nevertheless we will be having Void Ray action. And whatever proxy shenanigans were going on, they have now been cancelled. Placing the probe here in the middle instead. Looking quickly at the units tab, we see 4 Marauders and 10 Marines versus 2 Sentries, 3 Stalkers, 1 Zealot, and of course 1 Void Ray. I hope that Liquid Hero is not overly aggressive, because last game he managed to do so very well, but that was based on surgical deployment of hidden troops with warp-ins, and this is more a straight-on push, and I don't think this will be enough. Liquid Hero should choose to fight later in the day rather than right now. But it seems like aggression is the name of his game, and I must admit I've been watching Liquid Hero stream a lot lately, but I still don't know too much about his style, how he chooses to play. Warp-in pylon seems to be a large part of it, however. And now we see Marines and Marauders once again charging up the ramp. They will be inflicting a lot of hurt this time, no doubt, but another beautiful force fields shutting them out, losing 1 Marine and 1 Stalker each. So this Marauder will of course go down, but Noblesse has a lot more forces, and now they're up the ramp again. 5 Marines this time. They will be obliterated, but they're whittling down Liquid Hero's forces, losing 1 Zealot, and Noblesse can afford to take this kind of hurt, but I doubt HerO can. But of course he's got the defender's advantage and can more quickly reinforce. Meanwhile, this pylon is still up here and running, and now we got 2 Void Rays here on the left, and this could definitely prove very fatal indeed. There are no defenses. Noblesse will have to pull back in order to defend. 4 Marines, that won't be quite enough to deal with them if microed properly, but this will of course enable HerO to take a more offensive stance and use this warping pylon to reinforce at the front. So and now a third Void Ray being added to the forces here at the front, and with the ones now connecting from the east, we have quite a fearsome threat here at Noblesse's doorstep. And meanwhile we see HerO planting an expansion, so he will be expanding behind his aggression, as a pro gamer always should. Meanwhile we see more barracks being added, but they are far from deployed, and a beautiful force field flower cancelling, shutting in units, but in return a beautiful lift up by the Medivac from Noblesse. It's got 2 of them out right now, and that's quite a lot. Liquid HerO, aggression is the name of his game, but this is once again the defender's advantage, and I must say it looks precarious for his forces at the front for Liquid HerO, but the Void Rays, they can definitely be the ace in the hole, and more force fields shutting out, cutting apart the units, and a beautiful micro turning them back, being able to inflict a lot of casualties while taking minimal damage himself. Meanwhile, I see the Ghost Academy being built. Ghost will soon be out, he'll be able to EMP and even snipe should there be Templars, losing 1 Void Ray now. This is quite fierce, also being close to having infantry weapons upgrade level 1 finished, and that will be quite superior. As you can see, the forces of HerO are all 0-0-0, and we got as many as 2 barracks, but 2 more building, a command center, and Ghost Academy now finished. I must say it's looking good for Noblesse, but will HerO be able to avenge his loss in Code A? I do not know. 1 Viking out now, and soon there will be more of them, and that could definitely put an end to the Void Ray threat. Meanwhile, I do see a drop down here, ladies and gentlemen, and so does HerO. He is turning back, retreating his forces, and similar to the case when Noblesse had to pull back in order to defend against the Void Rays, Liquid HerO must now make a full retreat, losing quite a few pros, will be losing a lot of pylons, potentially even some production buildings, and now being able to obliterate his threat. If he can snipe the Medivac, these forces cannot escape, and indeed he does. Not taking too many losses, but losing a lot of mining time. Looking here at the units lost tab quickly, we will see that they're quite even. However, I must say that Noblesse is leading in the terms of aggression, but on the other hand, HerO has got an expansion up. Looking at the units tab, we see that they're quite even in SCV and probe count, but HerO's got Ghost, rather MVP, Hoon, as in Noblesse, got Ghost out and will be planting his command center here at his expansion very shortly, and with 3 medevacs, 2 Vikings and quite a lot of Marine Marauder and 1 Ghost, he's looking quite good. It's Liquid HerO's turn to make a difference now, ladies and gentlemen, having failed at inflicting too much damage at the front, even though he delayed his expansion. I must say that they are quite even and potentially might even be in benefit of Noblesse, who's got the aggressor's advantage once again. This push is quite deadly, and Liquid HerO will have wanted to delay this even further, but on the other hand, this is quite formidable as well. A quite zealot heavy force with many stalkers in there, and with the ability to deploy quite many force field flowers should he want to. And Noblesse decided to return. 2 Void Rays still out, and a Twilight Council now building for, or rather just having finished constructing for our Liquid HerO here. Going for Zealot Charge. This is, as I see it, a quite recent trend that many Protoss players have chosen to do. Rather than quick Blink Stalkers, you want quick Zealots. The Zealot Hammer that bears down on a Terran infantry army is quite formidable indeed. Seems like there are no more proxy shenanigans going on though. This Warping Pylon have not been used for a while, but it might come in handy, you never know. Meanwhile, looking here at the income tab, we do see that they are again quite even, but the Terran player is leading in minerals. Those are the mules, making a lot of difference. And looking quickly here at the infrastructure, we see 6 barracks, all with different add-ons. 1 Ghost Academy, no nukes though, and of course a starport with reactor, so a lot of medevacs, 4 of them, and a 5th one building. And here is the battle, ladies and gentlemen. A beautiful EMP right in the jugular of Liquid HerO, but again a beautiful force field flower. He didn't manage to cancel the energy on the sentries and quickly obliterating the forces at the front. Guardian shields going up, the Void Rays are not connecting with the Vikings, being able to inflict a lot of damage. The medevacs healing very successfully, and only sentries remaining for Liquid HerO, now pulling probes, and this is quite even, ladies and gentlemen. The Vikings have landed, but Liquid HerO chose to concede this game, having lost in a very close exchange. But I must say that Noblesse won this game at his front earlier, a couple of minutes back, when he managed to push Liquid HerO's forces back and defending against taking too much damage. So Liquid HerO showing that he's a very formidable player, very prone to mind tricks and warping unit strategies and stuff like that, but this time it was not enough, and he did not get his revenge on Noblesse, who stopped his Code A career in June. Stay tuned for day 3 coming right up here in the GGvision Liquid Colosseum with HerO as our Gladiator of the week. I am Sebastian Sjoberg. Thanks for watching. GG and out.
Adjutant online. Building registry. Custom